Hello, I'm live again with my snappy chats. This is all about learning and growing together in business. I have a wonderful guest. First of all, Jason is here already. I'm so excited you're already here. Hopefully, I know it's going to be a great session with Sabine. If I'm pixelating, which I only found out last time on Snappy Chat afterwards that I was pixelating and no one could see me, can you let me know? I'm not sure I can do anything about it, but I will try. Anyway, this is Snappy Chat. This is all about learning and growing together. I've got a wonderful guest, Sabine. She's beautiful. She lives in Australia, up in the northern parts of Australia in the warm weather. And she is originally from Germany. So you got a Danish and a German person on here today. So it's all European in Australia live. So I'm super excited for that. She's also a sleep expert. And I don't know about you, but I definitely can learn about how to have a better sleep. Excellent. Thank you so much for letting me know, Jason. I'm glad we're good. Let's bring on Sabine and get to know her. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here, actually. Thank you, Kristine.
Oh, so wonderful. And you are a little bit far from me, but we're both in Australia, but Australia is huge. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're living and working right now up in the beautiful northern parts of Australia. There's a lot of dangerous animals up there for anyone in America, but it is beautiful.
Yes, I'm near Cairns, in a place called Palm Cove. We do have crocodiles here and stingers in the water, but I haven't met a single one of those yet. And it's simply stunning. And the reason I'm up here is because I'm working here as a director of sleep and rejuvenation at the Reef House. And I'm helping people with relaxation and getting a really good sleep experience. People that come here to stay at the resort and they want to learn more how to actually get the most out of it, which is just a small aspect of my career that has brought itself together in this holistic way.
And it's so unique. I mean, maybe there are sleep experts out there, but I've never come across anyone before who is a sleep expert. I'm not saying they don't exist, but it's such an important part of health and life that we have a proper sleep, yeah?
Yes, and I would even say let's not call anyone an expert because we're always still learning. I don't even really like that word, but put it this way, I have researched so much into what makes people's nervous system balance and harmonize, which leads to mental well-being, digestive health, thriving, better cognition, better sleep. It all comes together, and in that sense, I'm pretty unique because I'm bringing the holistic spectrum into it. So, and I'm a really crazy woman. I will always do more research. I will always be at night in my spare time. Once I've done all my self-care, whatever it is I do, I love looking at the latest and keeping learning all the time.
Oh, I love that. And this is actually what Snappy Chat is all about. It's about learning and growing because I like to learn and grow too. And I think we can all learn and grow from each other. And one of the reasons I started these Snappy Chats as well is that I think it can get quite lonely when we're building a business. It's, when we're starting out, at some point we might have some employees, but if we're the only one that actually owns it, it still can be lonely to be the owner.
Yes.
And I think health and coming together and learning and growing together in business has been really important to me in terms of feeling that, when we're going through a rough time in business or whatever, we're not alone. There's someone else going through it too, yeah. And sometimes we just have to persevere. But if we have people that we can connect with, who we can help each other, yeah. So you have valuable services that I can use. I have valuable skills that you might be able to use, and vice versa for everyone on here. Just want to say hello to Tommy. Tommy is from Holland, actually. So we've got Danish, German, Holland present right now. He lives in Laos, and he's actually a health expert. So he's going to love this topic because tell me about the challenge that we spoke about that you faced as well in your business, which I resonate with, please.
Yes, actually being tired and feeling like maybe you're not totally tired, but you just don't have your usual passion, your usual zing. But you still have to do your business. You still have to do things that require energy. How to navigate that? Should I take a day off and rejuvenate? How do I get the best sleep so that I can really be present and have also that work-life balance which connects with that. And definitely sleepiness or tiredness has been one of my big challenges at times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? I can completely relate to it. And actually, especially in the last 4 months, I would say it's been quite clear that that I'm exhausted. You know, I'm excited about my business, but I'm also been a bit exhausted. And when you feel a bit exhausted, it can be hard to have that passion. Yeah, but I've had so much on as well, good things that I was excited about. But it's like then I'm working, all the time almost, yeah. And that's not healthy either. And we know this, and we can all talk about it, and this balance and all those things. But you're like, but I got to get this done, and I need to get this done, and I need to make money. And suddenly it's like, oh, we got Mike Ashton-Browner here. He's the Hounds of Business community. He's amazing. If you don't know about the Hounds of Business. But back to this conversation around running tired and working all the time. It's that thing of this weekend, I'm like, well, I need to get my community going. I want to build the community. And I'm like, I got to get it going. And I'm like, I was so exhausted. My body's like screaming at me going, stop. And I just ended up with a headache on Thursday night. And I just knew that was like, my body's like, no more. And I actually ended up sleeping last Thursday for 24 hours.
Do you want me to comment on that?
Yeah, it was a good sleep, but sure. So talk to me more about this, because I'm sure you have clients that you see this in, and so I think it's very normal. We're tired, but we kind of ignore it. Yeah.
Exactly. And let me just share what I'm aware of in that context. So this is what we want to catch. We want to catch that point before we really get burnt out, and then we sleep and we just totally stay in bed for the weekend. So what I'm here to do with people is to help people realize that the best way to get your deep sleep is actually to have a regular pattern and to stick to it, to actually make a decision and stick to it. Because later on, sleeping for 20 hours or whatever actually really disturbs our circadian rhythm and can make us feel a lot worse. And then it takes a lot longer again to be able to reset and get into a pattern. I've done that myself. And now that I know what to do and what not to do, I help people to say, okay, when you're feeling on that edge where you're pushing it and you're sleep depriving yourself and you're drinking that coffee in the morning or the green tea, that's a really good time to realize, okay, I need to get my natural sunlight and get less of that junk blue light going, which stimulates you and overstimulates you. And I need to get a sleep routine. And even if it's just half an hour, ideally 2 hours, you will be able to get a really deep sleep. And the next day, you'll be so productive. I found myself that I will get things done within 3 or 4 hours that would take me like 10 hours if I'm tired. So it's really a worthwhile investment to actually nail the ability to catch that sleep and to make it very deep and not stressed out, not collapsing. For example, when we collapse and we've done all this work, typing, thinking, parenting, whatever we're doing, we go to bed and we think, good, I hope I get a good sleep because tomorrow's a busy day. The problem with that is that, and people always give me this big look when I say it, we are actually not designed to go to bed when we have worries or concerns in our mind. It means that you don't get a deep sleep, and it means that you don't wake up refreshed. So we need to actually, to optimize our sleep, to wind down at night. And that's what I help people with.
Okay, so it's about having a routine every night that allows us to wind down. So by the time we go to sleep, we're in the right frame of mind or the right emotional state, or the nervous system has calmed down, so we're in the right place to have a good sleep. Is that what you're saying?
100%. Because if we don't do that, we might be lying there, but we don't go into the deep sleep cycle. We don't detox the lymphatic system, which is the brain. We don't look after immune function, digestion, all the clock genes. And instead, we will wake up feeling unrefreshed and have lack of mental clarity, and then keep pushing forward. And a lot of people go into the cycle of drinking the stimulant or the chocolate or whatever it is, and in the evening trying to wind down with wine, which also blocks your sleep quality significantly. And then the cycle gets perpetuated. needed, unfortunately.
So also having chocolate at night probably is not helpful.
Sadly not.
I know, and that's my favorite time to have chocolate, yeah, after dinner.
Yes, so I always say have the chocolate at lunch. So if you don't have to deprive yourself, but if you have chocolate or things that you normally shouldn't have because they block your sleep and you want to optimize your sleep, that will make a big difference. And there are other things also that I can help with to help you have a bigger sleep drive if you've been really working too hard and you're overstimulated in the nervous system. Things like a magnesium foot bath at night, a breathing pattern, really dimming down those bright blue lights in your bathroom, in your kitchen, obviously in your bedroom, so that you actually can wind down, and then the body will feel, looks like we're safe to relax, because it's a matter of safety. We have got a very ancient brain that is still looking for threats. And these days, the wrong email is seen as a threat. The wrong bank account statement is seen as a threat. Having a TV show that's really stressing, like watching the news, is considered a neurological threat in our old traditional brain. And these days, it's still working this way, but it's just thoughts and taps in the mind that we haven't closed down. And then they stop us from being able to have a really deep sleep. And I really love to explain this because it's so good. It inspires people. What happens is that if you don't feel safe neurologically to have to sleep because you've got all the worries still going on in your mind, in your subconscious, your body is still in fight or flight on some level. And that means that it doesn't let you drop deep because it's still actually in it's in a low quality sleep, so it can wake up and potentially protect you against a threat or solve a problem. And that's why people wake up, or they wake up feeling groggy, and that's a real torture, tossing and turning all night. So it's really...
It's profound, and it's really important because, like you're saying, if you wake up and you haven't had a good sleep, you're not going to be productive. It's going to take you 10 hours to do a semi-ordinary job versus 3 hours of great work if you had a good sleep. So that makes total sense. And I think this is quite important for small business owners, especially because I think a lot of us, especially when we're building, and there's a lot of fight-flight that's going on in our body a lot of the time. Because, am I going to make money this month? What do I need to do? I need to get this out. I need to do that. I was told I need to do that, social media. I need to get the product out. I need to sell. There's so many things we have to do. Yeah. Work in the business, work on the business, all these things, And so for me, as much as I enjoy it, I also think it comes, at least for me, and I think quite a few people I know, it comes with this fight and flight, constant feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that can even be subtle. You might think, okay, I'm actually relaxed, and people can kid themselves in that mindset. But when we dig deeper, and for example, when we journal or when we reflect on life, or there's lots of techniques to help us unwind, sometimes people's emotions come up and they might say, I feel so unsupported, or I feel really unwell deep down, but I'm just pushing through. I feel alone. And even all of those emotions, they're not really a peaceful, calmful state. So it goes in degrees. Some people are really stressed and absolutely running on adrenaline. There, it's very obvious. But for some of us, it can be an in-between feeling where we're sort of not even aware, but it's significantly affecting our sleep. And again, often when we are stressed, have you noticed, we tend to look for things to help us relax, and they're not always effective, like Netflix or the glass of red wine. And those things all actually don't help with sleep. So I always say, do yummy things like have a bath, put magnesium in it, have a shower before bed, maybe do a bit of gentle Tai Chi, do something that makes you feel calm. If you can't do it 2 hours before, because sleep is a 2-hour process, then even half an hour before, even 5 minutes before will make a difference. Little micro steps can shift it very profoundly.
Wow. So it's really the critical time you're saying is those 2 hours before we plan to go to sleep is where we really need to get into the mode of, I'm going to go to sleep. What can I do to, make sure that by the time in 2 hours time, I'm going to have a great sleep. So that's where we put in all the regular different things that works for us.
100%. And that can be a pattern, like some people saying, it can be a pattern from when you've had a trauma, when something happened during childhood. I have worked with people that haven't slept properly since the age of 4, when they had a house break-in, when they were
Wow.
little, and the nervous system still has decided and programmed, because it's all in the unconscious partially, that it's not really safe to sleep deep, because if I sleep deep, I never know if I missed a break-in, or if my parents have argued, or if there was a person in our family lineage that had to stay awake to keep you alive. For example, your grandfather, maybe during the war. These things carry through the gene pool, and I can help people to release that, or anyone can help people to release it. And these things will block your sleep, no matter if you even do the right techniques, the right patterns, the right habits. It's really deep.
Wow, and that's amazing, and I like how you are connecting it to actually what's gone on, whether it's in childhood or wounds or whatever things that at some point we have perceived as a threat,
Yes.
or something that wasn't safe for us, at least. And this is why the nervous system is still overactive 24/7, maybe our whole life, which can burn people out and possibly even, I suspect, lead to early death, because the body is just exhausted, So with that in mind, now that's really interesting. Now, when you say sleep deprived, so I can fall asleep within 2 minutes every night, guaranteed I fall asleep. But that doesn't mean I have a good sleep, does it now?
No, a lot of people say I fall asleep really easily because they're exhausted, or because they have a really good program in the mind that says when I hit the pillow, I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But if the tabs, I make it like a metaphor, like a laptop. If all the tabs are open and still buzzing around, your unconscious mind will try and deal with that. And so it'll give you some sleep, but it won't give you the depth that you need to rejuvenate, for example, your liver, your lungs, your immune function. And I find it very, very interesting that that's why a lack of sleep is linked with weight gain severely, with diabetes, because we end up having a sugar dysregulation. The body will draw more, because it's sleep deprived, it needs energy, and it will try to get that through craving for sweets and eating fatty food. It will try to kind of navigate life, realizing, okay, we didn't sleep so much, so we need to put on a bit of weight. I'm just translating Sabine language, so that if we need to run away from that threat, we seem to have a lot of stress. And if something's coming to threaten us, we have endurance to fight or flight. That's just that stressor. And so we tend to get more weight. We tend to have more inflammation because the body isn't repairing. We tend to have more brain fog. It's linked with Alzheimer's. It's linked with mental health disorders. It's linked with everything we don't want, including being able to conceive, because our body is basically going into a garage at night, like you would take your car if you take it into a garage. But sometimes you've only serviced maybe one tire and maybe one windscreen wiper, or you haven't got much done at all. And so we come out lopsided. And over the years, this builds up. And that's where I always say your best investment will be nail your sleep. It will help you in everything you're looking for. The beauty of not aging as much, the mental health, the inspired self, having the energy to actually do what you really want to do in this life. So many things. You have more patience, you have more passion, you have everything when you get the good sleep. It's at least what you're able to have, the things within your capacity. Sorry, now I finished.
No, I love that. And I think also with all that, it will also bring us more calm in ourselves, in which case we will be able to value ourselves more. And that insecurity, I imagine that little voice potentially will also be put to sleep, because we're actually in a much better space in terms of feeling good from the inside out. Yeah.
Yes, and I always say, what is it costing you to burn the midnight oil? It is your mental health, your ability to have positive self-talk. Hey, this is okay. Nobody's perfect. It's just another day, versus the spiraling downwards, which is, oh, nothing ever works. I'm exhausted. I don't even enjoy this. I want to give up. No one understands me. I'm just, how that's a spiral.
Yeah.
We can block that spiral when we get the sleep, the sunlight, which is so important for the mental health and the sleep process as well, which is huge, massive, and amazing.
This is so important. We've got a lot of comments here in terms of people saying, wow, learning so much. Tommy uses Qigong exercises. and also has a meditation. So he's a health expert as well. So that would be amazing. And then there's the rest of us who are learning so much because we're not doing what we're supposed to from what you're saying.
Which is actually what another topic I talk about. Why are we so against sleep? Why do we push it away so much? Why are we neglecting sleep so much? And that's a very interesting mindset, not just mindset, but it's also the program that we worked really hard and that we are getting stressed. And then we want something delicious to give ourselves a reward, which is I stay up late to have time to myself. I stay up late and watch a movie. And so I think it's all connected.
With some chocolate.
Or chocolate.
Wine.
Yeah. And so I've got lists as well where I write down for people, what is it that you do that blocks your sleep? And what are your habits that will enhance your sleep? So now, instead of feeling, wow, thanks, Sabine, I can't have the chocolate, I can't have the wine, this sounds depressing, I can turn that around and say, yes, but instead you could have a bath, you could give yourself a hand massage, you could have a beauty routine to release your vagus nerve, you could look at a nice little breathing practice, which will make you feel amazing. Your whole life actually will improve because the wine and the Netflix, it's not going to be something you're going to tell yourself on your deathbed you did more of. I always say to people, go to your deathbed, right? I find this inspiring, and ask your person on the deathbed, what advice would you give yourself? Would you say, please watch more TV and just keep it up? Or would it say, go for a nice walk outside, take a break, maybe journal, maybe do some art at night? And there's so many things, and people start to go, you're absolutely right. I got stuck in an old paradigm or pattern, and I can change that. And then it becomes really fun, because I want it to be fun, not another thing to do on your to-do list.
And I think the whole fun part is important, because if you want people to actually change habits, long term, then we gotta feel some kind of, not the reward, but there's got to be another level of reward in there, even if it's not a bad, an unhealthy one, but a healthy reward. Yeah, like, oh, my body loves this, oh, I love this. So I love, under the lockdowns, I came back to drawing, and mostly during the day, but for me to sit for an hour and draw and do art, just for me, not to show anyone, was just like bliss. And it came from childhood, something I used to do in childhood, and it's just something that really changed my whole way of being, because there was no judgment. It was just enjoying life. Was that just an animal that came down in a tree behind you? No, there's someone working behind you. There's someone working. I'm like, that's not a snake, is it?
No, they're pruning the palms. It's some sort of gardening work. I just saw that too. But we could pretend it's a snake. That would be pretty scary, but no thanks. But that's the other thing. Yeah, not watching anything scary, not reading scary books, not talking to people that really stress you out. It's like a bit of discipline and a bit of a curfew on things 2 hours before sleep. And, after that in the morning or whatever, it's really a little bit of a tweak, which is what I recommend. And people feel so empowered and inspired. And guess what? It's the ultimate. I always say, if I were to give you a lump of gold and say, hey, if you invest in that, it will double tomorrow and triple the day after and keep going, you would say, give me that. I'm going to invest in this. Sleep is exactly that, because you're going to save yourself money, because you have less health problems. You're going to be more effective. You're going to be more alive. You're not going to be just walking through life like a zombie in some state trying to get through it. You actually will smell the roses and really go out of the constricted mind of fight or flight and survival to expansive consciousness, which is more creative than any intellect could be. And it's super powerful. And I always say that's where we want to go. We don't want to be just running the same program. We want to expand and create new things, like with your art. That's going to be so amazing, doing the art and connecting.
I love that. Now, it looks like Mike is saying Skippy the kangaroo is always chewing on my internet, so it might be that it's gone pixelated bad again. But it was good when we started. Jason said that it was good, so it was good. So I can't control that, Mike. Now, we are going to finish up now, but I feel what you just said actually leads very much into how can you help people? Because I think we kind of think, oh, I can just do this sleep thing. Yeah, it's something I've done my whole life. I don't need help with that. But it sounds like, from my own experience and just listening to you and everyone on here, we could all use your help. So tell us a little bit more about how people can connect with you, get to know you, And yeah, anything coming up and how we can learn more from you.
Well, first of all, in here through where we are right now in this setting, you can connect with me. Basically, I'm holistic and different and unique. So I really work with your childhood, with your habits, and I'm a real passionate advocate for it being fun. So if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, you're going to get my latest YouTubes. You're going to get my latest, perhaps a new tool that you can use, a teaching on how to release the vagal tone, the kind of breathing pattern you could use at night, the way in which you can journal to get all the stuff out of your head and onto a page, and what to do with that so you don't end up ruminating. So my newsletter is probably the best bet on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to find that easily. I'm on YouTube. I'm all over the place, little bits and pieces on Instagram. But connect with me through my website, and I will be there. There's so much that I can share, and I'm really passionate. You know, my vision and my philosophy is this. I've only realized it lately. The more one human sleeps better, the more we have a better world. Because that means more empathy, more confidence, more heart-centeredness, more actual intelligence, not being in that stressed mode, but a real holistic intelligence, gracefulness, not working and being a doormat or slaving ourselves. It affects the whole world. So anyone that gets something out of it is for me what makes my heart sing. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I'm just writing in here. I'm just writing your website here to sign up for amazing tips.
Yeah.
Amazing newsletter.
And they can also, you can also look me up on the LinkedIn and click my profile. There should be links there too, or wherever. Yeah, SabineChristelli.com. I think there's only one Sabine Christelli. You can Google me and you'll find my
I love it. You're unique in all ways, including with your name. I love that. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all the valuable insights today. And I think it's such a big topic and something that is impacting all small business owners to some extent. Yeah. So thank you so much. We can all use your help, and definitely sign up for your newsletter. I'm going to sign up as well. Mike is saying bravo. He loves it. He loves all your valuable tips today as well.
Thank you all so much. Get your sleep sorted and have a whole new life.
And a successful business, because guess what? When we are more together, we're going to be better in business too, and in life.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone watching. I'm just going to share it up, and we'll see you guys soon.